I didn't think I'd ever get in Vietnam being in the Navy. And I was down in the Mekong Delta, 80 miles south of Saigon, in a helicopter attack squadron called HAL 3, the Seawolves. And I got there and it was like, uh, you hear about the war and everything. And where I was, there was no war. It didn't seem like it. We had a bus that took us to town at night, um, all kinds of bars and restaurants to go to. And we'd go back and sleep at night in the barracks. And I was working in the tool room. I finagled my way into showing a movie after work at night. I was helping some guy out one night, and I ended up showing the movie for about 9 months. I was there, and at about 11 o'clock, we'd get done work and we'd go to eat, and then we'd go show a movie, and then we'd go back and get some snacks and bring them over. And life was good for me because I didn't have to do anything. I worked in the tool room, and um, helicopters would come in. Every once in a while I'd go out and help them out a little bit. But most of the time I was just sitting here talking to guys. All our helicopters were Army hand-me-downs. And the Navy was taught how to fly with instruments and fly at night. The Army wasn't. So at nighttime down in the Delta, it was pretty quiet for helicopters except ours. And anytime they had a problem, they'd call us the Seawolves and we'd scramble. We had 9 detachments, 2 helicopters per detachment, and then they'd call for a squad to go out, and one chopper would be up high, one down low, and sometimes you had to have permission to shoot. You know, that's their zone. You got to ask this one to shoot down there. And if you got green tracers shot at you, you could shoot back. So a lot of times one chopper would be lower and the other chopper would be higher. And people are shooting at us, but they're not green tracers. So we have a gun that's got green tracers and we shoot and then call it in. And the Australians over there, everybody had their own zones. Australians, you just call them up and say, you're receiving fire. And they're saying, well, what are you waiting for? Just shoot them. I did go on a couple helicopter rides. I met a guy right here one day at a ceremony. When he heard I was a Seawolf, he said he was an Army colonel. And what was George's last name? George King. And he was talking. He said, "You were down in Canton, right? Ben Tui?" I said, "Yeah." And he was at the Army base in Canton. He had to go up to Saigon. So he got in one of our choppers that was going up there. And the chopper, they got into a gunfight. And he says, that's not what I was getting a free ride. I wasn't going for a gunfight. But he said, them guys are crazy. And he was telling everybody about our squadron out here. And we were the most decorated squadron in history, Navy history. And like I say, we were decommissioned in 1972. We don't have any more. I'm one of the younger ones. I got out in '71, and the squadron shut down in '72, and I'm 72 years old. So when we got out, I could go to any base I wanted, or just go home. So I picked the choice of going home because I didn't want to get put back down there because you never know about the war. So, and I enjoyed it, The whole time I was in the service, I enjoyed it. I was a tool room supervisor, I guess. I was in charge of the tool room. When I got there, you get there for the first 30 days. You work, they call it first lieutenant. I don't know why, but it's maintenance around the buildings, around the hangar. You clean the urinals and It was just work like that. So you got to know what the base was like. And then after that, they'd assign you a job. And I was assigned to tool room. I went to school for aviation instructional mechanic, and I could work on hydraulics or metal fabrication and all that stuff. But most of the time, I never got to do it. If you look up on seawolf.org, they'll have a list of all the medals we got. A lot of flight medals, silver stars. There was we were the most decorated, but we weren't the highest decorated because none of us got a Medal of Honor. There was one other helicopter squadron over there, the old helicopters with the bubble nose on them. And somebody got a Medal of Honor, so they were the highest decorated squadron, but we were the most decorated. We had 2 presidential awards. Like I say, you go to seawolf.org and you can find a lot of information. It's a lot different. I have a buddy named Greg Lee, and I think you're going to interview him. He was a gunner up in the northern part. And he was an M60 gunner. He lost an arm. His world over there was 180 degrees compared to mine. They slept in tents or on the ground. I slept in the barracks. We go to the chow hall. We had food served on a tray. They used MRIs, or what do you call them, or MRADs. So, 2 different experiences. Ours was pretty easy. Most of the time we worked 12 on, 12 off, 7 days a week. And I'd work from 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock usually. And the choppers would come in and I'd give out tools. They come to me, you need a tool, you check it out, you get done with it, you bring it back. That way you didn't leave any tools in the helicopter. And but every once in a while I'd get bored, nothing to do, so I'd go out and help them. It was right, I'm here and the chopper's sitting right there, and I could go out and help them. If anybody needs something, I could go right there, help them.